Hi guys, I am Dan. Welcome to another reading vlog. How are you all doing? This reading vlog is extra special because we are going to finish one of my favorite series of 2024. And if you have been following me long enough, you would definitely know which book I am talking about. It is actually The Burning God by RF Kuang, the last book of the Poppy War series. I put this one on top of my July's TBR because honestly, I just can't wait to see how this series is gonna end. Before talking about this book, I am happy to tell you guys that I have actually read one more book in June, making it the sixth book I have read in this month. It is God Killers by Hannah Kenneth, the first book of the Fallen God series. This reading vlog is not dedicated to this one, so let's briefly talk about it. In this book, we're gonna follow four main characters. Firstly, we have Ki-san, a god killer. And then we have a noble girl called Inara and a little god who can tell white lies, Sket. And a retired knight turned into a baker called Elogust. These four together gonna go to a city to seek answers from the gods for their own reasons. Inara wanna sever the tie with Sket, and Elo wanna help his king who has defeated the gods before. The things I do like about this book is the setting of it. We have gods, but the birth of them is actually from the desire of human. Let's say we wanna have good harvest for this season, we wanna make some more money, we wanna have good health. Then the gods will be born from these desires. After the birth, these gods would ask for the offerings from people so that they would help them. So in this world, gods and people are sort of relying on each other. The other thing I do like about this book is the characters. You can tell already this book is not long, but these four main characters got such an interesting dynamics between them. Ki-san, the god killer, has gone through a lot in her life, so she don't want the same happen to Inara, the noble girl. She also know the cost from the gods, so she don't want Elo to make a silly mistake. The journey with them is so fun and there are unexpectedly some fighting scenes. But one thing I didn't enjoy is the pacing of it. Most of the time it is quite slow, but when things take off, it is really fast. This book is only 300 pages long and we need to wait over 100 pages for the main characters to come together. Part of it is to explain the background of these characters, why they have to find the gods. But on their way to the city where the gods are, it is so slow. And I don't think there are anything significant or important to the characters. Also, there are quite a lot of side characters along this journey, but they are so forgettable. With this pacing issue, I am not certain will I continue with this series. Then coming to the main cause, The Burning God, I am only 20-ish pages in, so I can't really say too much about it. This book begins with the past of Dashi, the Empress, and then we are back to now with Rin. She is with the Southern Warlords. They have trained people to fight from the lost, from the hatred, because the Dragon Warlord didn't help them to fight back the Mugenes. Now Rin is leading the column for the very first time. I think I will have time to read today, but I hope I won't be distracted by the Elden Ring. I will share some more when I make some more progress, so see you in a bit. So I have a good news here because I have just finished the first session of The Burning God and I am loving it. This session begins with Rin not happy with the Southern Warlords because they are so passive when they are dealing with the outside threats. They think it would be better to stay at their home because they feel safe. But in the north we have Vasra, the warlord of the Dragon Province and also the leader of the Dragon Republic. Once he settled with the north, he won't let the south be free. And then we still have some Mugenes in the south because they got no home anymore. They don't have any ways to travel back, so instead they stay here. Luckily, Rin has allies in the south and together they try to liberate all the cities that are occupied by the Mugenes. At first, I didn't like how Rin approached these cities. She didn't care much about the people left behind. So long at last, the city would be liberated. She would use whatever methods, you know how powerful she can be, to burn everything down, even with the innocents. Later, she meets Sojin. I believe he is like a leader of a bandit group. He got networks in the cities so that he can evacuate the innocent first before Rin do whatever she needs to do. During this expedition, Rin meets the Empress Daji again. At this point, it looks like Daji is on her side because they got a common enemy. It looks like everything is going on so smoothly, but we know something is wrong. For some reasons, Naja should be in the north, but he finds out where Rin is hiding. The ending of the first session is full of actions and betrayals, and I can't wait to see what Daji will do with Rin on this journey. But can I tell you a secret? Tomorrow actually is my birthday and I am going to London. I found this amazing steakhouse and it looks really nice and appetizing. But I just hope that the weather could get a bit better because it looks quite great outside. I don't want London to rain for my birthday. That also means that I don't think I'll have much time for reading tomorrow, and I guess I will see you all after my birthday. See you! So here I am back from London, and it is actually the day after because I want to take some time for rest and do some reading. London was fun. In the morning I went to Harrods, but I didn't get anything because everything there got a price tag on it. Then I had a nice walk around London and had some nice drinks. At night I had such a delicious prime rib and it is like really nice. Thinking about it now makes me really hungry and I want more of it. That steak was divine. In terms of presents, I got myself of War and Ruin by Ranker Hill in a hardcover format. Everywhere I look up is so pricey, it can easily go over 50 quid for a hardcover book, which is ridiculous. And then I searched it on ebooks and find out some companies are doing it for print on demand. At first, I was a bit skeptical because I was not sure what this print on demand means, and it can take over 14 working days, but luckily, it turns out alright. It arrived pretty quickly as well. And then my family got me these 3 books from the Broken Binding, you can tell already, but it is not from this series. It is actually the first 3 books of the Echoes saga. I think quite a lot of people recommend this series and they said it is really good. I plan on reading this series later this year, and it is such a huge commitment because it is a 9-book long series. So fingers crossed I can complete it. I will probably open them when I need to read them because I think it looks really nice like this. As for the Burning God, today I have just finished session 2 and it is such a good mess. This session begins with the rescue mission with Kita, followed by liberation of the South. Rin returning to the South is such a savage moment. Seeing how advanced the Republic or the Hesperian is, Rin without too much resources, not much manpower, only got one way out, to free Riga, this powerful weapon. Even though on their journey to Tanshan where Riga is, Rin is not certain what he could bring, but she got no choice left. She has no allies in the south or in the north, and Riga is the only solution left. This session, I would say it is more about the Trifecta, what Riga, Daji, Jian has done in the past, especially Riga. I'm just not too convinced by why Rin trusts Daji so much. In the last book, although Rin let Daji live in the ending, she knows how manipulative Daji can be. So I'm just not too certain why Rin would choose to trust Daji in this book. Maybe I have missed something. I'm not sure why Daji wanted free Riga even though the seal is weakening. I mean, Daji and Zhang are like Rin. They look up to a stronger figure and let that figure control them. But she has been working with Rika for so long and know how brutal he can be. Then why free him? In terms of the historical references, I don't see much compared to the first two books. I guess the modernized new city, what the Hesperian has done to local culture, is similar to colonization in Asia. The West will bring in new technology, new architect style to the colonies. I would say to a certain extent I share the same thoughts as Kita, but I am not saying Hesperian is more superior and justify how they dominate another culture. But in a sense, this kind of new modernized way of life could improve the quality of life of another nation. But here, I am not saying one culture should dominate another one and erasing the other one. I'm not saying something like that, but to a certain extent, it could really improve your life to make your life happier and easier. The other reference is Rin's journey to the Dog province to find Rika on Tangshan. In history, it is known as the Long March of the Red Army. In history, Mao Zedong led the communists to escape from the attack from the Republic of China. They also went through snowy mountains and other difficult terrains. At this point, I'm not sure how this book gonna end because there's no more trifecta. Rin got not much resources left, and I guess it will be the same for the Republic for Naja. So I guess we will find it out together. Sorry guys for the lack of update again because I have actually finished The Burning God by RF Kuang, meaning that I can take off the Poppy Wars series from my TBR. I don't know how to describe my feeling about the ending of this book. It sort of reminds me of how I feel when I finished Babel by RF Kuang nearly 2 years ago. It is not like a happy, perfect ending and it will leave a weight in your heart. I originally thought that the ending would be Rin going crazy, burning the whole world down and has to rebuild it from the scratch. In the story, I would say that starting from the second book, we can tell already Rin, this character, is not stable and reliable. She will hear voices that shouldn't be here and she will literally do anything just for vengeance. She said it herself many times in the book, she thrived in chaos and revenge. She is also hungry for power after looking up to Daji the Empress. So starting from the second book, Rin always looked for an enemy, and this personality reminds me of Mao Zedong, the founder of the Chinese Communist Party. In history and in a very brief term in this reading vlog, Mao enjoys power and his ideology always asks for struggle. One typical example is during the Cultural Revolution, he mobilized the Red Army and encouraged them to criticize their enemy. This caused a total instability in society. Teens, because of the influence of Mao, would criticize their parents, demolishing any ideology, any structures, any architectures that didn't fit with Mao's agenda. Back to the book and to the series, Rin always found an enemy so that she could enjoy the chaos, the feeling that the revenge could bring to her. In the third book, the ultimate enemy would be the Hesperian, the Republic. On their way, Rin got the Southern Coalition. In later part, Rin got really paranoid, thinking that anyone around her would betray her, even though they are her close friends. Now here comes a super big question. Who is the traitor? To me, I don't think it is Kita, I don't think it is Vanka. I tend to think it is going to be the officials that are closer to the decision-making process. I remember Kita said that when you come to power, there are always spies around you. Even though Rin herself in the beginning of the third book sent Vanka to the north to gather information about Naja. So coming to the ending, it is not like happily ever after. I thought in my mind it is going to be so epic and I guess it is on a more emotional side and carry a weight. I remember I said it in the Poppy War reading vlog, Rin this character is not likable. I think the shift of Rin from a conqueror to someone that is willing to sacrifice herself for Nikara, I would say the transition makes sense to me. After she can manage to strike the paranoid the workload as a ruler in Alon, she returns to her home, Dikani. When she is back in the south, she witnessed the horror of this meaningless civil war. There is famine in the south, but she can't do anything about it. She then lost the poppy fields, so she can't trade with Mog for grains even though she wanna invade Hesperia. Earlier in the book, she saw how brutal wicked this ruler is to the people. He didn't see them as people but as animals. So at last, realizing she has lost everything and she got no bargaining power, the only thing she could do is to help Naja to build Nikara to a better place. Literally, nobody wins in this situation and Hesperian is still intervening Nikara. The only thing we can hope for is Naja will make it better. I just wish in this book we're gonna see more of Naja because obviously he has also gone through a lot. Possibly the experiment from Petra and also the death of his father. I wish we could see him more as the leader of the Republic, how he gonna make certain decisions and how he actually feels. For example, how he gonna handle the two war friends from Rin, how he gonna feel about winning the first confrontation because from Rin's perspective, we saw him as feeling proud about humiliating her, but actually how his feeling gonna be. All in all, I do have a good time reading this book and the series as a whole. If you are into historical fantasy, this series is for you. If you are into grimdark, more brutal, more bloody fantasy series, this is also for you. So if you have enjoyed this reading vlog, don't forget to give it a like. If you don't want to miss any content from me, make sure you have subscribed to my channel. I will see you real soon. Goodbye.